Dear Tim and Moby, what makes volcanoes erupt? From Dylan. That's a great question. Volcanoes are openings in the ground that release energy from deep inside the planet. Sure, up here on the surface, the Earth seems pretty cool and stable. But miles below our feet, it's a raging inferno. The deeper you go, the hotter it gets. Earth's center, or core, is about as hot as the surface of the sun. All that energy wants to escape like steam inside a boiling kettle. It pushes outward, forcing material in the mantle toward the surface. Standing in the way is the crust, the planet's rocky outer layer. Yep, it's paper thin compared to the other layers, but we're still talking about miles of heavy rock. The rigid crust keeps the mantle material trapped below. But in some places, the mantle forms pockets of magma, molten rock mixed with hot gas. The liquid magma is much less dense than the solid stuff all around it, so it begins rising. As it rises, the dissolved gases form bubbles that rush to escape, shooting the magma up even faster. Yeah, that's what happens with gas bubbles trapped in liquid. Anyway, when the magma reaches the surface, it's called lava. Layers of hardened lava build up over time into the mountain-like formations we call volcanoes. Well, the type of formation depends on what's in the magma. Less gas means less pressure, making for gentler eruptions like Kilauea on the island of Hawaii. Streams of thin lava from these eruptions flow far before cooling, forming flat mountains with broad slopes, kind of like a warrior's shield. That's why they're called shield volcanoes. Magma with a lot of gas can build up a tremendous amount of pressure. The result is an explosive eruption that can send out pyroclastic flows, super-fast avalanches of hot ash and poisonous gas. Thick lava from these stratovolcanoes doesn't flow very far, so it piles up in steep slopes. Washington State's Mount St. Helens is one of these. It exploded in 1980, blowing most of its peak right off. And when Mount Pinatubo erupted in 1991, its ash clouds blocked out the sun's rays and lowered world temperatures for months. Well, fortunately, eruptions don't just happen anywhere. Magma only forms under special conditions, usually near the margins of tectonic plates. These are massive sections of the Earth's crust and upper mantle. The plates are in constant slow motion, pushing together, pulling apart, and sliding past each other. Mid-ocean ridges, where plates pull apart, are the most volcanically active boundaries on Earth. As the plates separate, pressure on the underlying mantle decreases, allowing it to melt. The liquid magma rises to fill the gap between plates, pushing them farther out. This goes on and on, continually adding material to the sea floor. Right, the Pacific Ring of Fire is another huge volcanic area. Its eruptions are fueled by collisions between ocean plates and continental plates. The ocean plate is denser, so it gets pushed under or subducted. Seawater leaks into the mantle, lowering its melting point and creating magma. So when the magma erupts, it's recycling some of that old ocean crust as new land on the continent. In fact, geologists believe that billions of years ago, the continents first grew out of the oceans from shield volcanoes fed by subduction. That means eruptions are ultimately responsible for just about every bit of land in the world. Well, the Hawaiian shield volcano is a little different. It's an example of hotspot volcanism, which happens far away from plate boundaries. Geologists aren't sure whether these eruptions are caused by an unusually hot region of the mantle or an unusually weak region of crust. In any case, the near-constant lava flows on Hawaii's Big Island make it the only state in the country that's growing. Right. If you live near an active volcano, remember that eruptions can happen at any time and without much warning. So it's important for your family to be prepared, no matter how long it's been since the last eruption. You should put together disaster kits with things like food, water, and medicine, a battery-operated radio, a flashlight, and a mask or goggles. In the event of an actual eruption, follow instructions from local authorities. Don't worry, Moby. This volcano is dormant. That means it hasn't erupted for a long time. Of course, you never know with volcanoes. You, on the other hand, are more predictable.